22.5 is not on the unit circle, but what number divided by 2 is 22.5?
11.25.
No, I didn't ask that. It's 45 divided by 2. So we can use the half. So we go to the cosine of theta over 2, and if it's 45 over 2, theta becomes 45, which is on your unit circle. Now this is what they want us to find, and that is in the first quadrant. So you see how it has a plus or minus symbol? You know it's going to be a plus. So we already know the answer is positive because we're looking for the cosine of 22.5. That's in the first quadrant. Everything's positive. So we don't have to even think about the sign on this one. So we get that that is equal to 1 plus cosine of 45 over 2. And this is where, all under the radical, and this is where it gets a little crazy because you got fractions and whole numbers, but you're going to do 5th grade math, which one of you wanted to do earlier. So now we have 1 plus root 2 over 2, which is the cosine of 45 over 2. And what I like to do is not look at all of that at once because it gives you a little headache, but I look at just the top part. And in order to add fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So 1 is the same as 2 over 2. And then this is over 2. Any questions there? On the top part, we can combine all this into one fraction. You have to do that before you can continue. So that would be 2 plus root 2 over 2, all over 2 in the square root. So 2 is the same as 2 over 1. And now you do have a fraction over a fraction. So what that is the top guy times the reciprocal of the bottom guy. Whenever you do that keep, change, flip that you learned somewhere back in 5th grade, and that ends up being 2 plus root 2 over 4, all under the radical, and we're not finished. Here we go, and we're going to give the top a radical and the bottom a radical. And if you notice, the bottom comes out clean as a 2, so the final answer is 2 plus root 2 over 2. And if you put that ugly decimal in your calculator and you type in your calculator cosine of 22.5, they should give you the same ugly decimal.
Man, right.
So think about it. If we found an angle in the third quadrant, let's do a couple things. Do second tangent of 15 over 8, everybody. Second tangent of 15 over 8, and tell me the degrees you get. Found out that theta is 241.93. So if that's theta, what is theta divided by 2? Divide that number by 2 and you get 120 something, right? So this answer is going to be in the second quadrant. Does everybody understand that? Because when you divide 241 by 2, you get an angle in the second quadrant. So we know our answer is going to be negative, and so we do cosine of 1 plus cosine of theta. Well, the cosine of theta is going to be negative 8 over 17 because theta is that angle right there over 2, and this one's a little uglier. And just like last time I made it 2 over 2, now I have to make it 17 over 17 to give it a common denominator. Minus 8, 17. So 17 minus 8 is 9. So that is the square root of 9. Let me do that again. 9/17 over 2. We have two fractions divided by each other, so it's 9 over 17 times 1 over 2, because it's keep, change, flip. And that's going to be negative square root of 9 over 34, which is negative square root of 9 over square root of 34. And I have the ability to do this. So we have negative 3 over root 34. And we can't have a radical in the basement. So we multiply it by root 34 over root 34. And we get negative 3 root 34 over 34. And the 3 over 34 does not reduce, so that is the final answer.